Who's it gonna be? Oh my God! My brain's gonna explode. My brain's gonna explode. There's something sinister afoot, absolutely.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Slightly Biased Show here at the great Haymaker Studios. Also on Haymaker Network. If you're not subscribed, link down in the description. We got a good show for you guys today. A good amount to talk about, a good amount to go over, obviously. Hey, full disclaimer, there's going to be some SGA glaze. There's going to be some Oklahoma City Thunder glaze. What am I to do? What am I supposed to do, huh? Not take a couple victory laps? No way in hell. No way in hell. We also have some other stuff to go over. Just some dialogue and talking points that just make me sick to my stomach. But we have to discuss these things because that's what we're forced to do at gunpoint. Before we get into it, just want to say if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, my condolences, obviously. I myself am one. I do actually think we'll be pretty good this year. I don't know. But if you want your Dallas Cowboys fix, the One Star Podcast presented by Haymaker is out every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms every Wednesday. NFL free agency kicked off yesterday. KT and the Athletics, John Machota and Sad Yusuf will break down all the Cowboys free agent signings and non-signings. The One Star Podcast right here on the Haymaker Network. Go live it, give it a listen. You know what? We're also on all audio platforms here. So if you listen on audio, leave a review, leave a 5-star review. Let's just keep it there. Not 4-star, not 5-star. Five star, not 4-star, 5-star review. And also leave the 1-star podcast. It's a little confusing, right? 1-star let's leave it a 5-star review, okay, folks? Not 1-star, 5-star. Okay. So there you go. It's not even attempting to hide his Thunder fandom anymore. I mean, what? You guys are gonna shit on me anyways. What the fuck else am I gonna do, huh? Cry like a little baby in a corner? That's never what I'm gonna do. So I think the Cowboys will be pretty good this year. It's a kiss of death. Not only that, but I think they could win it all this year. It's our year, man. It's our year. And look at this, bro. Like, the stream just started. It's Tuesday. Storms are blowing in. If you're in the DFW Metroplex, please, be aware, be weather aware. Dirk Nowitzki's right here, right by my side. And here's what I just read in the chat. Day one of calling out Slightly for never twerking for us, despite explicitly saying he would on multiple occasions. This man's a fraud and a tease, and we deserve better. You have a porn addiction that you honestly need to work out. Okay, and that's not my fault. That's your fault, and that's on you to sort of sort out. I don't want anything to do with that. So please keep me out of whatever it is that is going on with you. Okay, this did happen to me earlier today. We had a headphoneless gym trip, and it was shocking. Went in, realized I didn't have my headphones. Was on a bit of a tight schedule. Had to just kind of brave it out. I have had non-headphones gym sessions before, but it's usually headphones dying kind of halfway through and we're already sort of committed. Mustering up the courage to go through a workout without headphones is one of the bravest things somebody can do. It is one of the bravest things somebody can do, and we got through it. And you see the memes and the jokes about working out without headphones at the gym is one of the worst experiences you can have. You think to yourself, well, it's not really that bad, is it? It is. It really is that bad. It genuinely is. I mean, the mixes that they play, the remixes that they play. This is what it sounded like. And this isn't a joke. This is for real what it sounded like. I got that summertime sadness. I got that summertime. Hey, what's up, man? No, I can talk on the phone. In fact, I'm gonna put you on speakerphone so everyone can hear you. Yeah, it's all good. I got that summertime. Okay. The grunting is, and yeah, I'm a defender of grunting at the gym. People who kind of push back at grunting at the gym. You're at a gym, there's going to be some grunting, but sometimes the grunting's a little extreme. And I don't know what it is. There's some people who make noises that could double as, like sexual noises. It's like, man, like come up with a better grunt. Like the gym should be reserved for physical grunting. Let's kind of keep it at that. There was also somebody there who was doing like 1, 2. It's like, dude. No, none of that.
Grunt expert, slightly biased in the building.
None of that. Thoughts on the tennis grunt? The tennis grunt is good. And in college, I covered tennis, believe it or not. And I'm a believer in the grunt. I think it's great. I think it's great. No headphones at the gym or pooping with no phone. Well, let me tell you something. I've actually recently started to just raw dog the bathroom. And actually, I think it's a better experience. Because really, you need to be in and out of there. I've like in and out of the bathroom. Okay, there shouldn't be any lingering in and out. That's kind of where I'm trying to get at. In and out. Okay. So how he grunts when he eats his healthy food. What does that even mean? Not true. Not true. My friend sent me this today. Shout out to the Texas A&M Aggies. Do they got any college? Do they got any draft guys? I don't know. Don't doubt the Ags. Should this have been shared? What do you guys think? That was loud. Brand collaboration. Hi. Okay, we'll think about it. Thank you for the email. Projected 13th in an SEC preseason poll, tied for 4th. Wow. That is an incredible achievement.
Very Aggie.
That is an incredible. I like this reply right here. Picked 13th, but tied for 4th. What an incredible achievement, man. You know what, guys? Like, that's great. That's awesome. Guys, everyone projected us to be shit, and you know what? Turns out we were just completely average. That is an incredible achievement. They should actually do this. You know, you should have banners for every season where you're projected. That way fans kind of know when they go to the stadium. It's like, oh, damn, last year they were supposed to finish 2nd and they finished 12th. The hell happened? That should happen. Yeah, College Station is a shit stain on society. And I'm not even like, if you went to A&M, I'm sorry for saying that. But the reality is it's a scary, sadistic, evil place. It is horrifying. It really is. And if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's all concrete. You look like you're in an army barracks because that's what they pretend they are. They pretend they're at an army barracks. There's some type of energy field there that sucks life out of you. And I can speak on this because, believe it or not, you might not know it looking at me, but this is true. I was legitimately good at Taekwondo. Growing up, I was in Taekwondo. My parents wanted me to do Taekwondo. It's just sort of like a fitness thing. Turns out I was pretty good at it. I could throw a mean, nasty roundhouse kick. If you've seen my calves and you've seen my quad muscles, it's not that much of a surprise. I could throw a mean roundhouse kick. And I was so good, I fought at Disney World. Like that, I fought at the Mall of America. I was really like that. The worst performance I ever had was at Texas A&M, College Station. It sucked the life out of you, right? I could have been an Olympian, potentially. And then I went to College Station, and it ruined my love for Taekwondo. And I quit. And then I took up baseball and was like, mediocre at it. So thank you, Texas A&M. You're ruining dreams left and right. And because of that, we do hate you. At least I do, right? And you've got the weird cult-like thing going on with the core. Isn't that what they're called? We're scared. We are just straight up scared of it. So I've been watching Alex Jones cover 5G signals. Those 5G signals in College Station are different. I haven't watched that. I don't watch Alex Jones. He does have some funny, we can't deny it. He's got some funny clips out there, right? But I do not watch it. Slightly actually broke his ankle roundhouse kicking someone after breaking a 3 at the gym. It's been a while since I've thrown a roundhouse kick. I don't know if the soft tissues muscles would hold strong there, but yeah.
All right, we went to the wide. Let's see it.
No, I'm not doing that. The last thing I want to do is tear my hamstring live on air. Maybe I'll throw a little soft one. And a little left, a little like weak foot one, right? Just a little. It's a little bit weird with the situation here. Just, a little. This is like a distance kick right here, right? Boom. And you don't realize the power that we're generating yet. But if you were there, you would feel it. Okay?
The alarms just went off.
Yeah. That sounds about right to me. Was good at Taekwondo as a kid. Is the same as my girlfriend lives in Canada. I mean, maybe I'll hunt for pictures. I was really like that. And my signature move was I had a very loud pre-fight yell. Like when you do the boom, you meet each other, then you go get to your ready stance, and you always got to get out of and mine was loud. And it was probably psychologically pretty terrifying for the 10-year-old across from me. So 10 years old, man, I would have beat your ass. Really, I would have beat your ass at 10 years old. Now, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I don't have it in me anymore. I don't have the spirit, right? What was this quote right here? Jason Williams has probably one of the funniest clips going around right now of him getting interviewed and be like, nope, we ain't going to win. We going to lose. We're going to get our ass beat. Pretty hilarious. No, I am pro grunting at the gym, but here's the thing. Here's my gym stance. Keep it under wraps. There was a guy today at the gym, and I don't want to like poo-poo on anyone at the gym, but there's a guy today at the gym who went to pick up the dumbbells to do a curl, and in the process of picking up was letting out a loud grunt that basically shook the fucking floor. It's like, dude, if you're yelling that loud for picking up the weights, you should not be doing that. Okay, let's tone it down. You're ego lifting, and no one likes it. But the people who are like, there shouldn't be any grunting at the gym. Dude, you're at a gym. People are going to grunt, right? I'm not a grunter at the gym. I'm not. But people do grunt. It's a gym. People are going to do that. At a Taekwondo tournament? Hell yeah, I'm screaming. We're about to fight to the death, damn near. We were 10 years old, mind you. I did suffer a concussion, I'm pretty sure. Someone rocked me. Something just fell down here. It must have been the kick. It must have been the kick. Regarding Williams, why would someone cry about the refs rigging a series for you? So Jay Will calls out Wemby for crying after a regular season game. Jay Will in this instance, Jason Williams, the old point guard. White chocolate. I know there's a lot of Jay Wills and Jay Dubs and Jay Williams out there.
White chocolate respect.
White chocolate, man. Great highlight reel. Great highlight reel. I won the world championship in 2006, and the last thing I was thinking about was motherfucking crying. And he's talking about Game 64, he cried because he won. Who is this for? This is the thing that I come back to with these. What podcast is this? Hoopin' and Hollerin'? Oh, is this... Wait, does he have his own podcast? Because this is the Patrick Beverly guy.
I think he guests on that. I think they have him like once a month.
Is the Patrick Beverly podcast still going, or is that on a hiatus? It's been a little bit of a rough stretch for Pat Bev. Is that show still going? Because this right here, I don't even know his name, but this is it's zoomed in. But this is the white podcast host guy that we make fun of, not make fun of, but that every single podcast has. The hat, usually it's on backwards, but there's always a hat, right? I don't know why. Always a hat. It always is that little drawstring thing across. By the way, we're working on a hat, fullydelusional.shop. Now it's going to blow your mind. Okay? Yeah, it's pretty regular, but it is sick and awesome.
If Google AI is right, is that guy named Roan?
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds correct that his name's Roan. Man. Okay.
That is a Barstool product, but yeah, I think they have Jay Will on like, I don't know, once a month, and he'll tell you about his Kobe story and then how everyone sucks now.
Yeah, I really don't understand who this type of content is for, because we make fun of the players who, and again, I'm not like shitting on Jay Will because he has one of the funniest clips going around right now, but we shit on players for not caring, we shit on players for not trying, and then we shit on them for caring and trying. It's even kind of fun. It's actually ironic and hilarious to do this on the Patrick Beverly podcast, where probably the one singular moment most people remember Patrick Beverly for is throwing his jersey into the crowd, standing on the scorer's table, and crying after a play-in game win. Like, that is the signature Patrick Beverly moment. So it is pretty funny to do this on his podcast, but I just don't get who this is for. Like, yes, Victor Wembanyama is clearly a sociopath and a psycho, and that's good. That's fantastic for the league, because some of these other young up-and-coming stars, Ant is tremendous, right? Ant, there's some kind of questionable off-court, stuff that maybe we have to turn a blind eye to if we're just in the league office trying to promote players. Ant is everything you want, right? He's outgoing. Yeah, he's a handsome guy, right? He has a play style that's very fun to watch. He'll dunk on people. That's fantastic. Some of these other younger guys, listen. And this is a big reason why people shit on Luka a lot. Luka has a play style that turns a lot of people off. That's just the reality. Jokic, sort of quiet and reserved, right? And the kind of the joke around Jokic is he doesn't care about basketball. He likes horse racing, right? Who else? Some of these younger dudes. Shea's kind of a little bit more reserved as well, and also sort of a volatile, controversial on-court product. Wemby, to me, it's almost a LeBron type scenario. LeBron being a little bit more outgoing, I think, to the media than Wemby is, at least right now. But why I say almost a LeBron type scenario is because it's a dude that came into the league with super high expectations. It looks like he's going to be exactly who he thought he was going to be as a player, and is very marketable, right? He's got a fuck you to him on the court. He's got an edge to him that I think is really intriguing to watch. And I think it's fantastic, right? I think he's so good for the league, and I cannot wait a month from now when they're in the playoffs and we're really getting the Wemby. Like, that'll be the first real Wemby thing, right? The Christmas Day game against the like, all of that stuff is great, but it's a completely different beast in the playoffs. So I can't wait for that. And I think it's so good for the league. They have to be so excited about who Victor Wembanyama is turning into. I just like, so who is this for, right? Like, what is the target audience for this, man? Because it's not really funny. There is a niche group, subsect of NBA fans who are just like, yeah, man, my life sucks. I miss being 16. It was 2004 when I was 16 years old. That was the best the NBA ever was. Everyone who's not from that era is soft and a pussy, and we're just going to make fun of them all the time. And I don't care about anything happening in the league today. Back in 2004, that was the best it ever was. No, you were just 16 years old, right? You were just 16, and that's it. That's my stance on nostalgia. You were 16. Music was not better in 2016 than it is in any other time period. You were 16 years old, okay?
Can you talk about me when I leave the room and not like directly to my face?
I mean, I've come to grips with that. Like, yes, I look back to the stuff that was going on when I was 16 years old. I was like, oh yeah, that was the best. That was this guy's best album. That was this. It's like, and then I think back, I'm like, nothing ever sounds better than when you're in the car with your friends and you're 16 years old and you're going somewhere and the aux is playing this person's new album. Nothing ever sounds better than in that moment. I remember whenever I was in high school, I went, I don't even know if it was high school. I don't know when this fucking movie came out, so please not be too long ago. Whenever The Wolf, wasn't that what it was called?
Wolf
The
of
Gray.
Wall Street?
No, The Gray with Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Where he gets his plane crashes in Alaska or some shit, and he's now fending off a pack of wolves. I snuck into that movie with a friend, and in the time, I thought it was the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life because of all we snuck in. Oh, it's a little bit late. It's dark outside. Oh, this is so cool. I watched a movie not too long ago. I was like, oh, this movie reeks. But at the time, it was fantastic. And that's why Star Wars Episode 3 has such a warm place in my heart, because that should be a nostalgia-based thing. But every time I watch it, I say, you know what? I like it more than I did 20 years ago. So congratulations to Star Wars Episode 3.
2011 for The Gray.
That's not bad. I'll take that.
I do wonder who, you say who's that for. I mean, even people for me, white chocolate, but who's like banging younger? Anyone younger than us, does anyone give a crap what white chocolate has to say about any of that stuff?
No. Eric Pincus! Who the fuck is Eric Pincus? The Utah Jazz are interested in Austin Reeves. What if there's an Austin Reeves for Walker Kessler swap? Chat, who does that benefit the most? Austin Reeves for Walker Kessler. There's no way, right? Austin Reeves and Keontae George. Man alive. I don't know about that one. Don't know about that. Lakers, Jazz. Reeves, sure. If Reeves leaves the Lakers, they are in such deep shit. It's unbelievable. I guess unless there's like a Giannis coming in. But, yeah. What else do we have? Oh, Steve Kerr. This one was interesting to me. Steve Kerr, we need to play fewer games. We need to take 10 games off the schedule. The modern game with pace and the space, I think it would be a more competitive and healthier league if we played fewer games. I'm all for this. I'm in agreement on this. Cut down the number of games. If it's a financial thing, that makes sense. But with the expansion teams coming in, those teams should be kind of making up the money you might be losing in terms of the games played. You take 10 games off the schedule. We've done this on the show before on how this would look and in interesting ways you can sort of set up the schedule that this becomes like kind of an intriguing thing where, my kind of idea was you play every team twice, right? That leaves you, once the expansion comes, that leaves you with 62 games, assuming there's 2 new teams added very soon. 62 games, and then you can pad those other 10 with in-season tournament stuff and like rivalry stuff to try and make it to where you're playing your rivals more than any other team, and it makes it a little bit more fun. But I agree with this 100%. I don't... It's clear and obvious with the injuries and stuff like that. One, here's part of it. People still blame the players. Maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe there are some players who are a little, soft when it comes to injuries. But the reality is all of these teams have super advanced, medical technology and the sports science with all this stuff. They track you during practices. They track you during games. And they know, like, hey, based off of maybe this guy's injury history, based off age, based off this and that, and based on how much energy he's exerted over the last week in practice and in games, he's in the red. So he needs to rest the game. Like, his risk for injury is higher. Or we know he's dealing with an ankle thing, or he's dealing with a calf thing. Because of that, his injury risk is heightened. Let's give him a game or two off. That way we mitigate the risk of injury. Like, that's what's happening. It's a sports science thing. And I do feel like if you just kind of pace the games out, if you take 10 games out, you could completely get rid of back-to-backs. And you could schedule it to where, I don't know, there's 3 games a week, right? So you're guaranteed off days. There's 3 games a week. You keep the schedule length the same calendar-wise, and these games are a little bit more spaced out, which allows guys more rest time, which allows guys, kind of an underrated aspect of that is teams aren't having to do the thing where we traveled, we got in at 3 a.m. last night. Because if you've ever done that, right, and I don't feel too badly for these guys because they're in the best planes and best travel amenities possible, but if you've ever done that, it like fucks up your entire week. If you've ever traveled and had a red eye or got in super early or whatever, like that really fucks up your entire week. There's nothing quite like the plane ride where you're on like a long plane ride and you try to space out. You're like, you know what? I'm going to go. We're going to leave at 7 p.m. The plane ride is 9 hours. I'm going to sleep on the plane. And you don't sleep a literal second on the plane. And now your entire next day is ruined. I always see those TikToks and it's so funny. Anytime you travel internationally, you get there, it's 9 a.m. You haven't slept 1 second. You were on the plane for 12 hours. The person next to you took up the armrest. Babies are crying. Like, it's all hell. It's all hell. So I'm there for that. I believe in that. I'm a supporter of taking 10 games off the schedule. And think about it like this, man. Take a look at how many games were on last night. Last night, actually, for some reason on Mondays, they only have like 4 games. But a couple of days ago, there were 10 games, 10 NBA games, something like that, and all of them were terrible. There were some like interesting matchups.
When I think about Steve Kerr, he says a lot of profound things.
Well, let's welcome in Stephen A. Smith to the program.
Oh, I thought that was coming from the speaker. I was like, who the hell is that? I was like, who is that? Who's here? Yeah, I mean, tonight there's like 10 games. And how many of them will, hey, anyone pushing back against this, how many of these will you be tuning in to watch? And how about this? If you're against taking 10 games off the schedule, and let's say you're a Mavs fan, are you going to be tuned in tonight? Are you excited for the game? 10.5-point underdogs against the Atlanta Hawks. I'll be watching because I get paid to watch. And I'll hate every single millisecond of it. And I'll complain about it the entire time. Because that's what it's turned into, right?
What a promo. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah. I'm going to complain the entire time. I'll probably will be streaming the game on my YouTube channel. And I'll be yelling at my chat for the entire 2.5 hours that we're live. If that interests you, come and hang out. Okay? If it doesn't, then don't come and hang out. I'm not doing this. Guys, everyone's welcome. No, not everyone's fucking welcome. If that's interesting to you, come hang out. If not, please stay home and go do something more productive with your life. And I'm just being real. Okay? The rest of us are going to see Hoppers. You want to know something? I was supposed to go see Hoppers today, but I'm not because of this game. But this weekend, though, Hoppers, which I'm excited, man, Pixar, especially when they get into their like leftist bag a little bit, which I'm assuming this is where they're going with the animals having to stop the construction of this dam or whatever it is. A very environmentalist movie. I'm in. That movie's going to be an all-timer. I already know for a fact it is. And then Project Hail Mary this weekend. Are you kidding me? Movies are back, folks, and they never really went anywhere, but they are back. People are mad at Timothée Chalamet for saying, I'm getting choked up thinking about the movies being back. People are mad at Timothée Chalamet for saying he doesn't want the movies to turn into the opera and the ballet. When was the last time you went to the opera or the ballet? What are people mad about? I mean, people get mad about everything. When was the last time you were at the opera or the ballet? Love it when famously left-wing Disney feeds my left-wing animated slop to make me forget about wars. Look, Pixar's its own different thing, okay? Like, don't bring Bugs Life into this. Or Ants. That year when they said we're gonna do Communist Party-inspired revolutionary vanguard parties that overthrow governments, we're going to do that, and we're going to do it in Bugs type of movies. Genius. I mean, what was happening then? That was like right after the Cold War ended, the USSR dissolved, and they're like, no, we got to re-ramp this. Thoughts on Romeo Dobbs for the Patriots? I have a lot of them. I got a ton of them. Honestly, maybe I'll go watch Hoppers instead of the Mavericks. Yeah. I'm not stopping you, right? I'm excited for that movie, though. Steph Curry reportedly expects a star player to join him in the summer, per Mark Spears. This, to me, feels telling. Is Mark Spears super plugged in? There is, like, some guys he is, right? It wasn't like Dame was directly feeding him shit. This is telling to me. No, the Warriors are not getting Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's not happening. That's what they might try to sell it as. You know, Bill Simmons has been pushing this forever. Russello, and it's a shame Russello's gone. Zach, it doesn't sound the same, does it? Zach, I think LeBron's going to the Warriors. He's been pushing that for a while. So it does kind of feel like that could happen, huh? Steph and LeBron retirement tour for LeBron. That's kind of fun. I'm kind of here for that. Geno Smith back to the Jets. Okay. Is he going to be the starting quarterback there? OKC glaze needs to stop. Oh, all right. To be fair, we're 30 minutes in and we haven't done a single second of glazing. The glazing was about to start, though. Don't get me wrong. The glazing is about to start. You think LeBron would ruin that team? How? They're already just mid. LeBron, Steph, and Jimmy Butler. Yeah, no, that team will be terrible. But it would be kind of fun. It would be pretty fun. Kristaps Porzingis says he's healthy again. I believe I will be healthy now. This is what I really feel. Not to sell anything because I've been in and out again. But this time I really feel like this is it. I hope so, man. Like that KP being out with this, with the illness thing is just, it's kind of scary. When guys get out with illness and stuff, I try to avoid talking because it is kind of scary. I don't know what that means. I don't know, that some of these illnesses, what is this going to be lifelong, life-altering? Like, I don't know. So I try to just completely avoid it. Unc, I know Clutch pays your bills, but talk about the Lakers being better without LeBron. I mean, all the numbers say they're better without him, but do you believe in them in a playoff series without LeBron? That's the question. Do you believe they're a better playoff team without LeBron James? No way. No shot. Maybe there's, hey, LeBron coming off the bench, good luck. I'd actually be shocking if LeBron was open to that. I don't believe in them with him. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't believe in them either. That's widely known. I'm just not a believer. Not a believer in theirs. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Once Cone hops on, we're going to do a tier list of contenders across the NBA. I'm pretty excited about that. Is this a team-specific pod or just general B-ball talk? Just general B-ball talk, Dub. Welcome in, man. I'm a Mavericks fan, but I'm not talking about that piece of shit team because, I look at the numbers, but, I go on Locked On. Nobody really cares at all. Like, nobody wants to hear it. I guess if Coop does something cool, we're interested. Nobody else cares about anything happening. And I'm right there with you. I wouldn't watch Mavs content right now. I mean, just being truthful, there's no way in fuck I'd watch Mavs content right now. And again, I'm doing a great job of selling and promoting stuff that I'm on. But that's what people like. People like authenticity and people like being truthful. You don't want a sales pitch. You don't want it. Stay on that side when we get Boozer. No, I will not be staying on. If the Mavs get Cam Boozer, I'm not staying on the side of us being trash because I will no longer think we're trash. Right now, I'll stay on the side of thinking they're trash because they are trash, garbage. Okay? Let's talk about the Mavs' chances to get the 5 lottery seed. Yeah, okay. The Jazz. Funny you brought that up because I do kind of want to discuss the Utah Jazz for a second because they win a game last night against the Golden State Warriors. Their fan base is very upset by it, which is funny. But
go on your run, extend it.
Hey! ESPN, what the autoplay feature on your website is insanity.
We got to get you under control out there.
It is just crazy that they think I want this shit played automatically when I click on a link. And what's up with people? Because I know some of you guys are in your office cubicles right now, and you're supposed to be, turning in your first quarter spreadsheets. And instead, you're browsing ESPN. Like, what happens whenever you click on a link and this shit starts playing out loud? That's what I want to know. Mavs so bad, Marcel retired. Yeah, true, man. Marcel's hanging it up on the content creation sphere because the Mavs are so bad. Think about that for a second, man. Think about that. Mavs content creators are retiring because the team is so trash. Have you ever heard of that? Best of luck to Marcel. I messaged him. I was like, dude, you're too good to be gone too long. Like, come back. You don't have to do Mavs stuff. Do not think you're beholden to Mavs stuff. You're too good of a content creator. He'll be back. I promise you guys that. Maybe not as Mavs Digest. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm on my fourth 30-minute bathroom break. Nice. We're bathroom maxing. If you're in the office today, make sure you bathroom max. Okay? But anyways, the Jazz. Funny, we give the Jazz shit for tanking, obviously. Even in this game, Keontae George played, I think, 0 second half minutes, or was it 0 fourth quarter minutes? 24 minutes total in the game. Kyle Filipowski didn't play any fourth quarter minutes. The funny thing is, right, like, they're doing all this tanking. I don't know what else they could do. Blake Hinson hit a three for them late in the game, and he's been playing minutes for them. He like, him being a three-point shooter is his thing. He was one of the best college three-point shooters when he came out. But the funny thing is like John Conchar, Elijah Harkless, we've talked about him if you go on my Clips channel, believe it or not. That's how into the weeds we are on the Clips channel. We talked about Elijah Harkless on there. These guys are like legitimately good rotation players who help you win games. And it is funny that these guys are getting big minutes because it's like these guys will back you into a win. You need to give, like, Cody Williams, 40-plus minutes, good. 43 minutes, that's good. But then some of your role guys are too good. They're too good of role players. You need, like, you need the A.J. Johnsons of the world, right? You need these kind of into-bench young guys. You're like, yeah, go out there and get 30 minutes. You need that. All right, yeah, throw them on. Joining us right now is the one, the only 3-Cone. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. We're very happy to have you here. Uh-oh, he's muted. I can't hear him at least.
There he is.
Okay.
He should be with us now.
You were muted that entire.
I was muted?
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying I appreciate your Utah Jazz talk. I know not a lot of people are talking about the Elijah Harkless Utah Jazz right now. So I'm glad there's still someone reporting on the important stuff in the NBA at this point.
Yeah, that's where we're at with the Mavs, where I'm just like, what's Elijah Harkless doing? I don't care what's going on with my own team. But it's nice to have you on, right? For those of you in the chat who are completely unaware, you are probably the predominant Thunder fan, at least on Twitter. You went on one of those defense shows, didn't you, to do the Shea defense?
Yeah, I did one with House of Highlights. It was me versus 10 Shea haters, and boy, was that an experience. That was a time. And I would love to do it again right now because some of the takes people are saying at me back then, I feel like I've got even more ammo now. Shout to the one guy that showed up in like a retro AI jersey and was like dying on the hill that Stephon Marbury is better than Shea. Like that was the take he decided to go in with. So it was impressive that he felt comfortable enough to talk and use his real face for that take. So I kind of applaud the guy,
Yeah, those ones are always interesting to me because I do wonder, like, so you have to fill the 10 people, and it's not hard to find 10 Shea haters. It really isn't. But it's like, hey, man, go in there and say Stephon Marbury is better. You want me to do what? No, just go in there and say it. Like, it'd be hilarious.
Just rip it.
It'd be a hilarious social clip. Well, I thought yesterday was like a very interesting pendulum swing on online, at least, where even the more vocal Shea haters, and my chat knows it, I've been a Shea truther for quite a bit of time. But even the outspoken Shea haters last night were like, all right, I don't know if we're running out of things to say here.
Yeah, when I saw Bill Simmons tweet out that the MVP race was over, I was like, yeah, we might get this thing unanimously. Like we might hit that point. That's my thought. I'm glad someone else is saying it. I know you as another diehard Thunder fan would agree with me, so I appreciate you, man. I know the way your community feels about you and the Thunder. But yeah, man, it was weird. Like I was seeing, Nuggets fans, like some of the predominant Nuggets reporters that are like so heavy on the Jokic train, drop articles this morning that were like, maybe Shea's better. I'm like, that's the moment that we had last night. And I'm glad some people are seeing it. I've been saying Shea's the best in the world. If you want to say it's Jokic, I'm not going to blame you. It's Nikola Jokic. But it's just one of those games where it really feels like this. Like, this is the day I'm going to tell my grandkids about. I'm going to be like, y'all, this was the day everyone realized Shea was the best in the world. And the world changed for the better. I think world peace is within the grasp of like 2 years at this point.
I think
we're getting close.
I think once Lou Dort kind of gets exiled to like the Wizards or something like that, then we can really start to push hey guys, everything you used to hate about the Thunder is gone. And now it's just AJ Mitchell domination. Is AJ Mitchell's minutes ever... Does it ever creep into your head when I think AJ Mitchell is unbelievable and tremendous? Does his minutes, and he was fantastic last night. What was that, like his second game back, right?
First game back.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he missed 20.
Yeah. He was out for, what was even his injury? It was really bizarre.
Yeah, it was like an abductor strain. It's the same thing that Shea missed some time with, but he missed way more games, and we just never got any updates. It's like he's gonna be reevaluated like soon, probably. Like, don't worry about it. And then there was also an ankle sprain that he suffered, like kind of a setback over the All-Star break. And then just randomly yesterday, they're like, "Oh yeah, AJ Mitchell's gonna be back, by the way," and he's like, "I'm gonna drop 24 points and go crazy." So it's weird. We've had a few of those. I feel like the NBA every year just chooses an injury to be like the injury of the year. And I feel like those abductor strains are just everywhere at this point this season. So those I don't know, it's kind of the new fad.
Those were the Paolo and Franz injuries last year. Weren't those abductors?
I think so. Yeah, it's kind of just the new hip trend. I think I need to strain my abductor.
Baseball is it? It's a big baseball one.
I guess baseball's a trendsetter, I guess, with the abductor strains. I got to get me one. I'm behind on the times. I feel like I'm lame now.
Yeah, baseball has a new one right now that is some bone I never even heard of that like 6 people broke in the same week or something. But ever seeing AJ Mitchell, do you ever think to yourself, if somebody came with a crazy J-Dub offer and it was just AJ Mitchell's going to be our number 2 guy now, we'd have to consider it?
It's so interesting because the thing with Dub is I think he's really important for this team's defensive identity. It slipped a little bit with him being injured, just the versatility out there guarding a number of positions. But the main thing that it makes me feel when I see AJ out there is I've been worried a little bit about Dub, being that secondary creator because the wrist thing, although, the couple games he played pre-hamstring re-injury, his wrist looked pretty good. And he said it was the best his wrist has felt, taking that time off with the first hamstring injury. But I've been kind of like, okay, is he going to be ready to be the 2 option in the playoffs? That's a little bit concerning, specifically if we play great defense, like San Antonio. But AJ playing the way that he is, it makes me feel a lot less, scared of that because I'm like, oh, AJ can also just go crazy. And that to me was always the big thing coming into this year where it was like, I think we're going to go back to back because I was expecting some development. And AJ was kind of the guy I was looking to. I mean, he hasn't even played 82 career games yet. Like he is still technically within his first full season of experience. And I want to shout the New York Knicks who let us get him by just trading like cash for a second. And then we traded cash in that second to move up a few seconds so that we could get him instead of the Knicks who right now are currently having Jordan Clarkson sit on the bench. So I appreciate them for that at the very least.
Yeah, and he's on the dumbest contract in the league too. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, shout out AJ Mitchell. Love the guy, but his agent is not. I can't say he's the best. 3 years, $9 million is absolutely criminal for him.
Insane. And even at the time that was signed, people were like, that feels really low for a player who has the like skill set that he has. Have you seen the J. Will could be Şengün if he had the green light takes?
I have seen a lot of those, man. And I've been like, let's chill out. But it's also every time he plays 30 minutes, it's like 20, 11, and 4, hitting 4 threes a night. He's crazy. He's one of the bigger development stories, I would say, over the course of his career. Because early on, it's like, he's a fun stretch big and there's some playmaking there, but the defense is a little bit lacking. And now it's like he's out there guarding Nikola Jokic, one of the better Jokic defenders that are out there in the Western Conference, and he's running coast to coast, hitting layups and dunking on people. And he hit 7 threes last night, the most threes by a Thunder center in a game ever. It's really ridiculous that he's just cooking out there. And originally, last season he was the guy from the Orifar meme with Shea, and now it's like, this dude might be Şengün 2.0. So
yeah, he was the Orifar meme guy. But yeah, I mean he is. It is crazy because he used to piss me off. Admittedly, he did. Because it's like, dude, you're a center. Stop taking charges. That used to frustrate me to no end. Like, jump up and contest the shot every now and then. But now it's, like you said, this year is like, this is probably the best Jokic defender in the entire NBA. So it is. I'm actually really interested when the Thunder are assuming they're fully healthy in a playoff series, if they face the Nuggets again, what J. Will's minutes look like. Because you think if Chet and Ihart are healthy and playing, there's not that many minutes for J. Will, but he clearly plays very well against this Nuggets team and against Jokic. I'd actually be really interested in that.
Yeah, I'd imagine because iHeart does a pretty good job too. But I mean, Jay Will is just straight up our best Jokic defender. Like at this point, he's got that sturdiness to him. He's so good, maybe the best in the NBA rage bait Nikola Jokic. I don't think we've ever seen somebody rage bait Jokic. Well, maybe Lou, maybe Dort might also be in that conversation. But Jay Will just for some reason gets in his head. There was the clips from the playoffs last year where he's like just jumping on top of him, like trying to hit a little bit of like a swim move, a little bit of a D line type of situation there. He just kind of gets him for some reason. So if we can get Jokic, rage baited and chucking threes and Jay Will's hitting coast to coast jelly lays, I mean, at that point, I feel like the series, you can go ahead and wrap it up in a few games. So I imagine he has to get some minutes, like at least 20 with the way that I think last year against the Nuggets, like iHeart didn't play as much in some of those games because Jay Will was doing such a good job. So I imagine it'd be something similar, especially, if it ends up being like round 2, if the Nuggets end up as like a 4 or 5 seed and we want to try and, rest a little bit going into the next round. Not that you can necessarily like rest against the Nuggets, but if we can get away with it, then with that calf injury he's dealt with all season, it's pretty good.
Well, I was going to ask a question about, seeing the Nuggets in the playoffs versus maybe some other teams, but that actually segues into what I wanted to mainly do here, which is a tier list, a tier ranking of potential NBA contenders. And this is going to be interesting because you're looking at it through the lens of, okay, my favorite team is the clear-cut favorites to win it all and repeat. I'm looking at it through the lens of, all right, my favorite team is trash, so I have no real horse in this race. So here are all the teams here that are at least in a play-in spot, like, because some of these play-in teams are at least kind of worth discussing in terms of just maybe playoff series wins. So the tiers I have are true contenders, right? Like these are teams you don't need to talk yourself into, right? Then I have bus crash contenders. I always use this tier as like there are teams who sometimes make the finals or win off the back of like everyone got hurt and this team just kind of made their way there. Like if things just kind of line up. The watch out, I have these as like the teams are like, well, that team could maybe in the first round series, but deep down you sort of know. And the happy to be here tier, where it's just like, they're in the play-in, whatever. If they make the 8th seed and they win one game, then maybe it's a win for them. I do feel like we might see tanking in this year's play-in game, but I'm not sure yet. Like I do think some
I think
teams,
there's a shot.
I think there's some teams who are like, I don't want to be the 8th seed. I want to have the 12th best odds in the lottery. So
I think the Warriors might be in that spot, to be honest, with some of the lineups they're rolling out there.
That's the team I was thinking of. Like, why would you want to be the 8th seed when it's like, I'd rather just have a chance, I guess, at the number 1 pick. Yes, the Mavericks are in the loser tier, guys. They're horrible. Okay, the Celtics. Interesting. The Celtics are the first team here because this is the big kahuna in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, like he's not been super efficient since he's come back. But the big thing for me is like he's going to get into a rhythm. He's just moving good. Like his jumper looks smoother to me. I know his wrist has been bothering him for a few years. They look good. I mean, it's so hard with a number of the East teams because I do feel like there are like 4 or 5 teams from the East, probably about 4 teams I think could make the finals. But it's like if I put them in a series against like OKC, for example, or, if it's San Antonio or Denver, like what chance do they actually have in one of those series? Boston, though, feels like one of those teams that I've reached a point where I think they're true contenders. I think Boston is going to be capable. I believe that Tatum is going to get more into that rhythm. And I think if Tatum looks like Tatum, even like 80% of Jason Tatum going into the playoffs with how open this East is and how flawed some of these teams are, I feel like they'll probably be my pick to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I have them in true contenders too, just because the East has been weird. It's felt pretty wide open for a while, and there's just something about some of the other teams in the East. Like the Pistons clearly have and we'll talk about them more, and some of these other teams in the East. But the Celtics, to me, have become clear-cut the best team, and with Tatum's return, like you said, like his scoring is gonna, it's gonna get there. It's gonna come around. Yeah. And just adding that to what they already have going on is insane. And I don't think I'd pick them to beat any of the Western Conference teams, but if I view you as a clear-cut favorite to make the finals, then that makes you a contender because you never know what could happen in the finals, right? Like, somebody could get, knock on wood, but somebody could get hurt. The Hornets, is there any?
They're such a fascinating team. I mean, it's reached a point where like they were so red hot and they've kind of cooled off a little bit. And originally it was like, oh, if Tatum doesn't come back, maybe. And it's like maybe in a series against the Pistons, they can make things interesting. But I think they're just that team that's like, oh, this year because I don't know if they're going to reach the 7-8 game. That was kind of the main thing. Also, I'm watching Two Dogs. They've decided now's the time to bark. Anyways, real quick, Hornets. Oh, you can't hear them? Oh my God, this microphone's perfect. They're literally right outside my door barking at literally nothing. Guys!
There you go. Let them know.
Yeah. Nah, that's okay. They're excited about the Shea shot. They're watching highlights.
Nice.
But the Hornets, I feel like they're a team that they're going to make an interesting first run series, but I think I'd put them. I couldn't put them in like a car crash contender. I can't see them winning more than that series. I think they might be a little bit more than happy to be here, though.
Yeah, I think watch out's a good one because you can talk yourself into like the rebounding and LaMelo getting hot for 3 games, but ultimately your dog's name Shay and J-Dub?
Yeah, they're Shay and J-Dub. Shay Dort Dub is one of their names. The other one is Dub Chet Hartenstein.
All right, nice. We've got the entire rotation. That's great.
Yeah.
I would say be careful naming your dogs and pets after athletes because I had quite a few friends who had Luka pets. I'm just saying.
I heard about that. That's tough. I feel like every time then you talk about Luka, a little like single tear streams down the cheek.
You got to look at your dog a little differently. You just don't love it as much anymore. Is I think kind of what happens. But no, Hornets. They just don't have if they do play the Pistons or something. Who do they have to defend Cade? That's where it all goes back to. In a 7-game series, who is defending Cade Cunningham? In that instance, like Cade will be the best player on the floor for the entire series. But they are very fun to watch, though. And next year, they could be really interesting. The Cavs are so interesting.
Yeah, because they're another one of those teams where, I mean, they've looked great with Harden back, but it's like Mobley's dealing with injury and Harden's thumb's not right, and Donovan Mitchell's been dealing with a groin thing. I just never trust they're actually going to be healthy for a series,
Yeah. I want to believe in them so bad. I really do, because I think it like Donovan Mitchell has been really underappreciated for years now, just in terms of how good he actually is because of the playoff stigma and this Cavs team just kind of shrinking in the postseason. And sometimes it's not even his fault. It's just sort of the pieces around him. But I don't know. I'm trying to compare him to this Celtics team, and it's kind of difficult for me to. I think they're a bus crash contender, though. Like they're in the mix in the Eastern Conference, 100%.
Yeah, I think they're one of those teams where it's because with the Cavs, I don't know, man. It's also I've like been kind of a James Harden defender for a little while, but there are definitely those playoff struggles. I mean, if you get to a game 7, you can't really count on Harden having a crazy performance. And I also believe that Donovan Mitchell deserves more respect than he gets. I'm an Evan Mobley guy. I've been for a while, although I was hoping this was the leap year, and it's definitely not really been that for him. I don't know. It's just also hard midseason to make a change the way that they did, adding in a piece like James Harden. Not that he's that different from Darius Garland and the system's that different, but to make that change on the fly, it makes things a little bit difficult. It's just so hard for me to picture almost anybody. If Jason Tatum looks like Jason Tatum, it's so hard to picture almost anybody being the Celtics 4 times out of 7 at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of where it's at in the East. But the Cavs have an interesting argument for being like that second team, just because they've got the firepower. And, man, it would be awesome if late career Harden traded midseason to the Cavs. This is like his playoff moment. That sort of changes the trajectory of how we talk about his career. But I don't know. Like you said, the midseason big-time change, historically speaking, it's very rare for those teams to go on like big runs. And adding James Harden midseason is a big one. The Nuggets, they're so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one of those teams, man, because all season going into the year, like a majority of the year, I kept saying, everybody was like, oh, the Thunder's biggest threat is the Spurs. I'm like, I still think it's Denver because they've got Jokic and they played the Thunder so tough in a series last year. And I was kind of on the David Adelman is a pretty good coach train, and now I'm questioning it a little bit. And also, like, what are they possibly going to look like? They've added so many pieces and they've not played together this season. Cam Johnson looks like a deer in the headlights anytime that he has to make a big shot in a game. I don't know. Like, it's really hard for me to say.
I'm going to put them in bus crash contenders. And the reason why
I think that's fair.
The reason why I won't put them in the true contender tier is, man, they've just been so hurt all year. And even these guys, like, until I don't know if they have the same amount of like minutes missed as a team like the Thunder or some of these other teams that have been destroyed by injuries, but they've had, Aaron Gordon is so important to everything they do. And you saw it last night. I mean, he was incredible in that game last night.
Fried us.
Yeah, he was unbelievably good. Like they don't have a chance if Aaron Gordon's not playing and healthy. They don't stand a chance. That's how important he is. Christian Brown has came back, missed a ton of time, came back and hasn't looked the same. Peyton Watson's hurt now too. Like, I just feel like this is a weird year for them, even though I think they're really good. And if you were to tell me, like, yeah, the Nuggets are fully healthy and everyone's like locked in. There's no rust. There's no, this guy's coming back from injury. then yeah, they're for sure up in that top tier just because of Jokic and Jamal and Aaron Gordon. But it's a little spooky to me. A little spooky.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, bus crash contender that's also been going through 17 bus crashes of their own throughout this season. So
they are crawling out of the bus crash. They're still there. Man, I'm putting the Pistons in bus crash contender too. I mean, we already know what's going to happen with them. It's clear and obvious.
It feels very much like where the Thunder were 2 seasons ago when they lost the Mavericks in the second round, where it's like, we're, that plucky young team and we've got a great, like, all NBA first team caliber player leading the way. And there are clear flaws with the team that need to be addressed in the summer. We didn't really do much at the deadline. I think the Pistons are going to suffer a same fate where they play like a Cleveland or a Knicks or a Boston round 2, and it doesn't end up going their way. And I mean, they've lost 4 in a row now.
Yeah,
I think it's catching up to them. And Asar Thompson, he's not supposed to miss a lot of time, but he's so critical to that defense. And JB Bickerstaff hates him and loves Karis LeVert, so it's a little bit difficult.
I wonder what's going on there because I've kind of been throwing this theory out there that advanced stats are like military technology in a way, where the teams, the stuff they have is like 5 years ahead of the stuff that the general public has. And there was this discourse going around because Kenny Atkinson said, yeah, Derek White's a top 5 player in the NBA or whatever it was he said. And then Joe Mazzulla was like, yeah, these stats that we have, like, people can't quite grasp how good Derek White is. I wonder if there's stuff with like the Thompson twins where like the deep analytics, because there's a Min Thompson stuff sometimes with Ime where it's like, what, like the usage is a little weird. I wonder if there's some advanced analytics that are like, yeah, the shooting, the lack of shooting and the spacing is so detrimental at times that Karis LeVert is better. Pistons fans hate Karis LeVert, man.
They have to be some insane advanced analytic that our puny brains can't even comprehend to convince me that Karis LeVert is the better option. I mean, maybe they're stuck in the past. Maybe the Pistons had some type of horrific situation. It's like how the Lakers we found out a few years ago didn't even have synergy. Like they were just going off straight vibes. Maybe the Pistons are in that spot too. They hate those woke analytics. They're all about like, but Karis LeVert tween Hezzies. Ball don't stop is in the front office perhaps.
That does feel like that's more time. It would be funny though if advanced stats start circling back around. It's like, actually though, the tween Hezzies are pretty valuable in the league. It's like,
they create like a new one called Karis, the way that there's LeBron and all those other stats, and it's like, pure hoopers are the future of the sport.
It's really a shame they didn't do anything at the trade deadline besides get Kevin Huerter, who's been racially profiled as a good 3-point shooter, even though he is a terrible one now.
Can't do it.
It's a shame. It really is. I'm a big believer in, and I thought this 2 years ago about the Thunder, and they proved me wrong, obviously, last year. But 2 years ago, I thought the Thunder should have been way more aggressive at the trade deadline. The year they just got Gordon Hayward and called it a day. Like, you never know. You really never know what the future holds for you. So if you're in a position where you're the 1 seed and you do have the picks and the salaries to go out and make a big trade, I really think you should do it. Warriors, I'm actually thinking about putting them in the losers, like, seriously.
I mean, at this point, like, it's... I don't even know. I feel like we might not even see Steph this season again at some point. Like, it just feels like they could shut him down.
I feel like that's where we're heading 100%, is that Steph gets shut down. I'm just going to put them in the losers tier. Rockets have fallen so far from grace for me that I don't even know if I can, in good faith, put them in this tier with the other 3, like, legit.
Yeah, they might be hanging out with the Hornets.
I agree, 100%.
I mean, with Kevin Durant's confirmed at this point the burners. The second he had tried to tweet through the whole mess, like, we knew that thing was true, and Fred's out, and Adams is out, and Ime Udoka, I don't really know how I feel about him as a coach anymore, because a lot of the stuff we're seeing here with them offensively is similar to what we saw in Boston, where they just broke down sometimes. Yeah, it's a weird time to trade for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant and now not really have a direction, to the point where Alperen Şengün, you're supposed to be franchise players, and Jay Will talks at this point. So, I
mean, maybe there wasn't a trade out there for them, but there was really no pathway for them to upgrade their guard room at the trade deadline. Like, that's just confusing to me. Steven Adams being that important for your offense is a bad. He's an impactful player, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if your offense crumbles without Steven Adams, something is not right. And something is not right with this team.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts too when their offense is throw that thing at the rim and we'll just get it again. Let's just keep running this back.
And Şengün, man, geez, I hate to pile on, but it really is when you watch him. He was not like this last year. He really wasn't. And I don't think it's a KD thing or anything. I'm not blaming him, but man, something is just... He gets the Jokic comparisons. It's like, dude, Jokic has all-time touch. Şengün shooting like 50%.
Yeah, that's always the big difference between Jokic and it's like, oh, this guy's the next Jokic. It's like, do they have the greatest touch ever and they have like a knockdown three ball that teams have to worry about? No. Okay, then there's no way they're ever going to be the next Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic is just one of one at this point in time. Maybe Jay will.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of two because Jay Will's hot in his tail at this point. So we got to put some respect.
So here, interesting that the Clippers are here because I posed this question yesterday. Who would you pick the Rockets over anybody in the West right now? I don't even think I'd pick them over the Clippers, truthfully.
I don't know. The Rockets are such an interesting team because it's like I watch them and I see results and things. I'm like, they just are not good. And then they're like always hanging around the 3 seed. I'm like, what is going on? That whole middle of the pack in the West just trades spots from 3 to 6 every few days.
The next team the Clippers about is exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly. Them two, both Los Angeles squads. And when they traded Hart and Zubats, I kind of just thought they'd fall off and give us, a lottery pick. And now I'm angry because now they're tied for the 8 seed. I mean, I think it's close, between the Clippers and the Rockets. I put them in the same tier, I think, as the Rockets, where if you give them, they're not going to beat a Thunder or a Spurs, I don't believe, but they could at least make it a little bit of a scarier series because Kawhi Leonard is having like one of the best seasons he's ever had. Yeah,
Kawhi is far and away the best player out of anybody on this tier. And that carries you so much. It's kind of crazy to say, but if YKN didn't get hurt, like that changes there because Isaiah Jackson's out there getting minutes now for them, and Brooks 150 years old. Like Giannis is legitimately good and was I think factored into their calculus whenever they traded Zubats. Was like, we got this rookie big who's like impactful and defends and can run a pick and roll with Garland. Like, we're okay with that. And now he's out for the year. That scares me just because their center rotation feels a little bit iffy. But I mean, the fact that they're the 8th seed makes me wonder, like, should they be in this tier? Because they're going to lose round 1. And like, even if they make it in.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe they should just be happy to be here because I could see the Rockets winning a series,
right.
But I can't see the Clippers pulling it off. Yeah,
I'm going to move them down just because 8th is pretty much their ceiling, right? Or can they get up to 7? I guess if they're in the 8-7 game.
Yeah, they could win and get up to 7, but then it's like, do we take them in a series over the Spurs? Like it just feels really difficult to imagine that.
Yeah,
Wemby going up against a center rotation of Brook Lopez and Isaiah Jackson is going to be murder.
Yeah, if they were the 5 seed or 6 seed like they usually are, I'd be getting sucked into the Clippers thing like I always do this time of year, even though I explicitly say I'm not going to do it this time around. But I've seen Kawhi Leonard turn into a playoff. That 2021 series against the Mavs, I have literally.
I was like, you've seen it specifically a few times.
That is the best I have ever seen a basketball player be ever in my life watching basketball. Unbelievable. I think Lakers are a watch out team. I don't believe in them in the slightest.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where they got to go. Because it's like, again, they could win a series. The offense is dynamic, but it's also when their top 3 players are out there together, they're just not good at basketball. So it makes it a little bit difficult.
Right. And what realistically are they going to go the route of benching LeBron late in these games in the playoffs? Like, are they going to go that route analytically?
I don't know. It depends if they have like advanced analytics or they've got the Karras analytics that we've been discussing with the Pistons. It kind of depends what it comes down to. If they have those, then we might just see Marcus Smart tween Hezzies in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, JJ Redick played his starters 24 minutes in the second half of that game against the Wolves last year. Insane. I've got no idea what he's going to do. He's like the Joker of coaches, it feels like.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane that he did that. And honestly, at the time, I was like, you know what? I kind of respect it. He's just like, we were not winning with any of you guys on the bench.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go down swinging with our guys. When you have Luka on your team, that gives you an automatic boost in the playoffs. Like, obviously, you look at this Lakers team, their center rotation is trash. They don't play defense. Like, yes, obviously, they're going to lose whenever they get matched up against actual legit teams. But Luka being there, like, would I pick the Lakers over the Rockets in a series? I think I would 100%. Just because who's answering that for the Rockets offensively? Heat.
Yeah. Anytime you have Luka, you're going to have a chance in a series at least, or especially against a team as flawed as the Rockets. I agree. I think I'd probably take the Lakers over the Rockets in a series at this point. So,
who would you take between the Lakers and Hornets in a hypothetical series? I think I'd take the Hornets actually.
It would be real interesting. I mean, it depends how insane JJ Redick wants to go. If he's going to play his starters 48 minutes, they're going to lose because that starting lineup isn't good. So, I mean, DeAndre Ayton, I just imagine him getting on an island with any of Brandon Miller, Con Knipp, or LaMelo Ball, and like it's just over. They're just going to lose. Well, also, Grant Williams, Celtics legend on the Hornets too.
Yeah, big shot maker in the playoffs, man. I'm imagining Musa like getting 18 offensive rebounds in that game, and DeAndre Ayton's having to delete all of his social media afterwards because
I mean, Do they have the 8 in like special juice that apparently they give him? Because if they're out of that
juice.
too, I mean that's a sweep. Yeah, if it's the dominating juice is out, it's a sweep.
The Heat, I mean, people, the zombie Heat, but let's just be serious.
Yeah,
or at least that's just where I'm at. I just they're good.
No, I agree.
They're competitive, and they'll do the thing they do where if they do make the playoffs, maybe they'll get a game or two in the first round. Because they're in the play-in right now, right? The 6th seed in the East is its own separate entity.
Orlando's 6 right now. I think Miami's 7. Philly's fallen down all the way to 8 at this point. So,
Philly will probably go in the happy to be here tier, even though I can tell you right now, none of them are happy to be there. But that's just actually, there might be a conversation worth you having for them. Timberwolves for me are the hardest team in the West to pinpoint.
Well, it's because they can't even pinpoint themselves. You watch them half the time, it's like, oh, this might be the best team in the world. And then half the time you're like, do they know how to play basketball? Did they learn yesterday? It's so wildly confusing when you have a team that inconsistent. And it's like, yeah, they've made the last 2 conference finals and then they got smoked both times that they've made it there. I do feel like there's a world where like, if everything went their way, I could see them making the finals. So I'm tempted to put them in that car crash contender tier because I do think they're better than the Rockets. They're better than the Lakers. I think it's like, if we get the best version of them, it's like them like maybe 3B behind the Nuggets at this point with the injuries. And that could be enough where if you avoid the Thunder and the Spurs on one side of the bracket somehow and just end up in the right route, then I could see a world. Plus, Anna's just so good at this point.
I think they are a very frustrating team, but there's proof of concept. We've seen them in the conference finals. And the Ant thing, man, like there's matchups where he's just too athletic. He's too athletic for the Lakers. The Lakers don't have anybody who has a chance to guard him. The Nuggets, man, they played a game not too long ago, and Ant was just frying Jokic. I mean, frying him. Like he's that level of player, and they're good. They are a very good team, and I think their frustration stuff is not. I think it's kind of indicative of who they are as like a basketball team, a regular season team, but in the playoffs, I do kind of trust their ability to flip it on a little bit. The Knicks are almost kind of similar.
Yeah, I mean they are kind of just. It's funny because they made the trade. They're basically Timberwolves East to me. Yeah, where it's like you're going to either get 27 points on like pretty efficient shooting from OG and Mikal Bridges, or they're both going to shoot like 3 for 14 and you're just going to lose. I think. I don't know. I'm so between like car crash contender and true contender just because again it's like with the Eastern Conference, although I think they're on like the same tier as the Cavaliers. So I think I put them in that car crash contender because it's just so hard for me to picture them beating like, if it's say the Thunder coming out of the Western Conference. It's so hard for me to see them winning that series.
I think the Celtics have even separated themselves a tiny bit. The Knicks were my pick going into the season to win the East, and up until about a month and a half ago, that was when I was like, okay, the Celtics with Tatum coming back are just kind of clearly cut better. But the Knicks, they were one of the best teams in the league for a month, the best defense in the league for a month, and then they've had this really rocky stretch recently, which I think you can just kind of attribute to bad shooting. But I am monitoring this Jalen Brunson situation because it hasn't been very good as of late. And in order for that whole experiment to work, he has to be the like top 7 player in the world that he was like last year. And he just hasn't been that. And I think that greatly caps their ceiling.
Yeah, and not to mention Cat, it's been a down year for him offensively too in the Mike Brown system. Like the only way you make it work with 2 huge negatives defensively is if they're both just insane offensively. And yeah, nobody's talking about it, but Brunson's kind of been trending down for a little bit. Same thing with Cat. I mean, he's been a little bit better as of late, but this season is not like last year played the best basketball of his life. So
yeah, and last night they lost to the Clippers, but there was some, like Cat was incredible and Brunson had a good game. And Brunson's playmaking's been really good. I've actually watched a ton of Knicks games recently. And when Mikal Bridges is shooting, I don't know. I'd be interested to see what the record is. When Mikal Bridges' usage is like kind of high, because that's when I love them. When OG and Mikal Bridges are like these safeties basically on defense, and they're just cleaning up every mistake anyone makes, and then they're getting it. Yeah. Mikal's flying up the floor in transition. That's when I love them. I'm like, oh, that team. I'm just imagining like a game 6 in the Garden, and Mikal just hit a 3, and everyone's going crazy. Like I can see it. But again, the Brunson Cat thing, we've seen it play out. It's a bad, and when you get in the playoffs and you're playing other elite teams that will just pick that apart every single time down the floor, the margin for error is so small. I mean, Hawks, happy to be here, I guess. Raptors, well, actually, Trailblazers, happy to be here. Suns, they deserve some love for what they've done, but do you rate them at all?
No, I mean, especially with Dylan Brooks dealing with a broken hand right now and he's coming back. They're a fun team. They could maybe win a playoff game, but not really at all.
Yeah. If they were in the East, I feel like we could talk ourselves into a Hornets type of situation.
Yeah, agreed. But in the West, it's just going to be
right.
I mean, we'll have to see what seed they end up because it's this Western Conference.
True.
But
they could be the 6th seed, which kind of changes some stuff for them. But I think they're kind of comfortably a playing team at this point. Thunder. I do think the Celtics do belong in a tier with the Thunder, but I think the Thunder would be overwhelming favorites in that series. I just think recently the Thunder they've reminded us of who they are.
Yeah, it definitely helps getting some guys back. AJ coming back is huge, especially Shea back in the lineup. Guys are playing. The biggest concern for me right now is, are we going to be healthy by the time the playoffs roll around, and is that going to stay the case? Because you still do need everybody out there, all hands on deck. The good thing is that the team is basically the same as last year, so it's not like we need a lot of time to figure out how to make these new pieces fit together. That is ultimately a huge plus, but yeah, I mean, that's the big concern to me is, are we going to be healthy? And that's been a part of a reason why we haven't seen a repeat champion in years. I mean, it feels like every year the team that just won it goes through a bunch of injuries and then something happens in the playoffs and it all comes crumbling down. I agree. I think the Thunder are the favorites, but with this Celtics team, I mean, they've got the second best net rate in the NBA without Tatum the entire season. They belong also up there in that tier of top tier contenders. My prediction, if you ask me right now, I would say Thunder Celtics in the finals.
That would honestly be an incredible series. That would be absolutely unbelievable. Just both very similar, different pathways kind of, but similar, great front offices, great coaching staff, and just two teams that play within their system and know their system and just plug in whoever really, and it's going to work. I mean, that would be a lot of fun to watch, honestly. And I think the only real chance at a competitive final series, in my opinion, I just think the Thunder would mop the floor with anyone else, really. Magic, are they just happy to be here, even though they're not very happy? But I don't.
Yeah, I'm between that or maybe a watch out. I don't know if they're this. If they end up the 6th seed, I think they could win maybe. But
I think that's
it's also
fair.
how much do I trust Paolo and Franz? Franz is out right now, but they've been winning some games. I think they belong there with kind of the Hornets. I think
I do agree because I can see, because the thing about Paolo, obviously he's been crucified this year, and a lot of it's fair, but he has been pretty good in the playoffs from what we've seen from him. So yeah, I could see that. And Bane just gets red hot, and he's been really good this year. And Suggs,
awesome.
they're a good team when they're all healthy and stuff, but it's just getting healthy that's their problem. Same with the Sixers, honestly. They're a mess. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it might have to be. I don't know, because it's if Embiid plays and he looks like himself, things could get interesting in a series. But is he going to be back? Paul George is out 25 games for the drug program, so that he's currently going through DARE right now.
We love that. I'm putting them in watch out just because of that.
Yeah, because they're afraid of DARE Paul George. I agree.
Sober Paul George.
Yeah, sober Paul George is going to wreck him.
But I agree with you, though. If you can never bank on Embiid health, but that is the wild card thing with them, where because he's been really good this year, and they're an interesting team, but with all of their injuries, they lost the game. Was it last night or a couple nights ago, where the rotation they had was just insane with all of the guys?
Yeah, last night against the Cavs, they were starting Quentin Grimes and Campaign in the backcourt, and I'm good God.
Campaign, that's right, yeah. Quentin Grimes is having such an interesting year, because I think if you really watch him, just not very good. He's such an interesting player. He's just so fast. He plays so fast always. And when it's good, it's this. I've never seen someone like this. He's so fast and quick, and why is he not averaging 25 points a game? And then there's bad plays where you're oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's a very capable shooter that for some reason I just don't think it's ever going in.
Yeah,
he's just got kind of a weird jumper. He gets a ton of lift on it.
So much lift.
And I just kind of assume he's missing every single time. Yeah, he went from 25 points per game to end last season, and now it's I'm a 34% shooter, and it's okay. The Sixers didn't need Jerry McCain. They're fine.
Yeah, that was I don't know. Every Sixers fan I know is like, that was the most baffling trade. Like, they were like, basically, if it weren't for the Luka trade, everyone would be talking about that trade. But the Luka trade, just like, yeah, whatever, anything happens now. Raptors are actually an interesting one because there's no way I don't think I'd pick them in a series against anyone, just because I like them, I respect them. Scotty Barnes is having an unbelievable defensive season, but they don't beat any good teams. That's like their big thing.
Yeah, and it's like, do I trust one option, Brandon Ingram in the playoffs, or Scotty? Like, no, not really. I think they're happy to be here. It feels bad to have them below some of those other teams, but I think that's just that they just don't feel playoff ready at all to me right now.
I agree. If you replaced like Emmanuel Quickley with, I don't know, just a different, if they had, and I'm not saying they should have done this, but if they just in theory had like a Harden, right, instead of a Quickley, that changes their dynamic entirely. But it is just offensively, I really wonder how it'll go. They're a good defensive team, and I don't think they would not be very fun to play in a 7-game series with, Scotty Barnes hounding you the entire time. But I just, in terms of legit contention, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the Spurs, they have to go top.
Yeah, I think so. It feels weird to talk about a team that's got like, no experience to be able to pull this off. But I mean, it's when you have a generational talent like Wemby, and I mean, they've beat us 4 times out of 5. Like, I just don't think there's a world where you don't put them in that top tier conversation. All season, I've kind of been like, the Nuggets are probably the Thunder's biggest competition. But I mean, at this point, it has to be San Antonio. Like, they're ridiculous. They've kept pace behind the Thunder the entire season. They're still right there for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I didn't think anybody was going to be able to keep up with the Thunder. We started 24-1, and then they knocked us off, and they're just ridiculous. I can't believe they're this good already. I thought they were going to be like a spunky play-in team that loses round 1, but it's like, hey, there's something here, and then next year they take this jump, and they just decide, we're going to skip that middle step, which not a lot of teams can do.
Yeah, I mean, the argument against them is young team. These teams always lose. Like, it's very, very rare. These teams always lose. And yeah, you can just squint and see a game where Wemby has like 7 turnovers and Castle goes, 3 of 17. Like, you can see these games sort of coming. But then there's the argument for them, which is Wemby's different. And this could just be it. Like, this could just be the time where Wemby goes out there, has a playoff run. We're like, oh my, this guy's 22 years old and he's the best player in the world right now. Like, there's just nobody like him. That is a possibility. So you have to respect it. And next year, I think, I wanted them to be a little bit more aggressive. I get why these teams don't do it, but I wanted them to maybe, if there was a pathway for them to get like Trey Murphy, like go out. All of the lineup data shows when Wemby's out there with anybody who can shoot at all, they win the minutes by like an absurd amount. Right?
Yeah.
So next year, they're going to go out and get somebody in the offseason. I don't know who it's going to be. If they go out and get like a shooter who they can plug into their starting lineup, it's going to be really scary. And I think
if they upgrade the Harrison Barnes spot, I feel like I would have been even more like scared of them. But like Devin Vassell in a playoff series is like the scariest player I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I'm just thinking about Devin Vassell going out there and dropping like 20 points, hitting. He feels like he could have like a PJ Washington type series, who I still to this day have nightmares about every single time I go to sleep.
Hey, we'll give him to you for a first-round pick right now.
At this point, we might be good. I think we might be good at this point. We'll hold off for right now, but I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Devin Vassell is like, I feel like he's one of those guys. Same thing with Keldon Johnson, who is like it's just a bully ball. It feels like he's not big enough to play bully ball, but also he just kind of moves everybody out of the way like he's a bulldozer. They're just so good. Yeah, I think Mitch Johnson's done a great job as a head coach. The biggest concern for me is that the shooting is pretty up and down for them, and also they are kind of turnover prone. Like Stephon Castle gives it up a decent bit, but like, you think about pathways to winning it. Like I said, we've been injured this season. Are we even going to be healthy? And do we have the cohesion? And then the Celtics with getting Jason Tatum back, like if it's the Spurs and the Celtics in the finals, what do they look like? Are they going to be ready to face Victor Wembanyama? And like you said, if he just has that run, then he just has that run. And suddenly we're anointing another one of the all-time greats, like at 22 years old. I don't think it's impossible by any means.
No. Yeah. That's why you have to respect it, because it seems a little bit more feasible than some of these other teams. Right. And now that I'm looking at this, maybe this isn't fair to the Nuggets, because we've seen it with them. We know it works, and we know Jokic is Jokic. Like I was at that game 5 last year in OKC, and Jokic hit that absurd 3 with 50 seconds left, where you're just like, how did that? And you knew it the moment it left his hand. It's like, that is going in the basket.
100%, yeah.
That is going in. I'm kind of thinking we should move the Nuggets up, but they've had such a weird year, though.
I'm down to move the Nuggets up if you want to move them up. I'm down.
No, let's take a stance here. We gotta have some
you know
strong
what?
takes.
Let's have some integrity.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I think it's fine here. The Spurs have just been better than them this year, like obviously record-wise. But I watched the Spurs, and yeah, Champagne's one of those guys too that I can imagine hitting 8 threes in a game.
Oh my god! Don't even bring him up, bro.
And like the fans who check in just for the playoffs are like, who the fuck is Champagne? And why is he hitting 9 threes against me? Like that's gonna happen to somebody, some poor fan base in a couple months. But anyway, I'm pretty good with this list. This actually makes me really excited. Like, I think this playoffs is going to be insane.
Oh yeah, because it feels so like you've got your top tier teams, but it's also, especially out east, like the Eastern Conference playoffs. I mean, the West, it's like, oh, Thunder, Spurs, and then what the hell is anybody else? And with the East, kind of the entirety of it is like, what the hell is anybody? Like, are the Pistons, how real are they? What are you going to possibly see from the Harden Cavaliers and this Knicks team that's up and down all the time? Even like the Hornets, if they make it in the playoffs, can they make it interesting round one? And they and the Pistons might brawl. Like, we might see Malice at the Palace 2 and 3.0 in the same series. It's going to be a great playoffs, man. I think we've got an amazing setup for it.
I do wonder if we're talking like, I wonder if the Celtics just sort of make it to where, like, why did we think the East was obtainable for anyone? Like, the Celtics showed us all year they were like, they're not the number 1 seed, but net rating, they are the best team in the East. And I think eye test wise, everyone would say, the Celtics are the best team in the East. I'm super excited and pumped because, and another thing too that factors in, there's a lot of these teams are in like a make or break type of year where, Cleveland, if they don't, I think if Cleveland loses like a hard-fought conference final series, then I think you chalk that up like, okay, we traded hard in midseason. Like, there's a lot of good positive things for us. If they lose round 1 or 2, who knows what their team looks like a few months from now? I think the Knicks are the same way. If the Knicks lose round 1 or 2, who knows what that team looks like? Timberwolves are like a sneaky, like if the Wolves lose round 1 or 2, do they? Rockets, like that's what I like too, is like when teams flame out, it's like, what's going to happen now? So
that's one of my favorite things is looking at the playoffs and a team flames out and you're like, oh my God, like what happens next? Like someone's got to get fired, guys got to get traded. And I mean, take a look at this bracket in the West. I mean, you have a lot of teams where it's like with the Lakers, we kind of knew that they were going to have like a big summer of like change. They've got all these guys coming off the books. LeBron's probably gone, it feels like. But like if they beat the Rockets and suddenly Houston's like, we want to be a contender. And, do they just chalk it up to the injuries or are they like, we have some serious issues? Wolves Nuggets is currently slated to be round 1. Wow. And if that happened, 3-6 round 1, either team loses, they're like, we have to look in the mirror and like make some change. I mean, the Nuggets can like maybe be like, we're kind of injured. But I think also with this recent stretch, you can't make that excuse all that much anymore. It's right now the playoff bracket, partially as a Thunder fan, because this is the way I would like to see it if we had to go through it. But just in general, right now it would be like Spurs. Right now it'd be Spurs Suns or Spurs Clippers round 1. I would hope we would see Spurs Clippers because I think Kawhi going up against San Antonio again would be super, super fun.
Yeah.
And then we'd have Wolves Nuggets and then Rockets Lakers, and the Thunder hopefully play like we could take the Suns. Let us play the Suns. Let's play Dome Brooks for
that's a fun first round one because I feel like any of the other possible teams, maybe outside the clip, but like if the Trailblazers or Warriors sneak in, I feel like that could be a lose 30 game 1 and just the rest of the series. Like the Suns will at least go out there and you're going to get a fight, maybe literally. But that's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm happy about this list. Thank you very much for coming on. This was a great episode. Let the people know where they can find you if they don't know already.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm glad we finally got to do some content together. I know we've talked about it before, but I'm just it's 3Cone, all spelled out on YouTube, 3_Cone on Twitter, do TikTok, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I am a Thunder fan. I apologize. I know some of you are probably very unhappy to hear that if you hadn't noticed it already. But I talk about the NBA in general. Like it's not just Thunder content by any means. As much as I love my guys, just general NBA coverage and stuff. And we're getting close to the playoffs. We're in that weird part of the year where it's like, what do I talk about? Because I've kind of talked about everybody at this point, but I mean, hey, a month from now we're doing playoff series previews. So man, I'm excited about it. I appreciate you for hopping on. Everybody like and subscribe right now, watching the stream.
Like
do that for my guy. Do that for my guy.
Are you a college basketball guy at all, or?
Lightly, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, me either. I always love March Madness, though, but we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Whatever we
It's a good time of the year.
Yep. All right, well, thanks for coming on. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's going to do it for today's show. We'll be back on Thursday, and we're going to, I don't know what we're going to do yet. We might be talking some college basketball or just some draft stuff. Who knows? But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I love you all. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, 3 Cone, for jumping on. It was a great episode. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Who's it gonna be? My brain's gonna explode. My brain's gonna explode. There's something sinister afoot, absolutely.
Security at the Haymaker Network is provided by Smith Thompson. Secure your home now at smiththompson.com.